The story opens inside a secretive research laboratory where animals are being used as test subjects. Cages line the walls. Scientists move between machines, observing frightened animals and recording their reactions as if they are dealing with equipment rather than living creatures. Without warning, the main entrance is breached. Several young people wearing masks storm the laboratory. They are heavily armed, highly organized, and clearly did not come to submit a polite complaint. They call themselves the Animal Liberation Alliance, or the ALA. The police arrive almost immediately and demand to know what the masked group is doing. For one brief moment, the officers appear ready to control the situation. Then they look at their own equipment. They look at the heavy weapons carried by the masked activists. Within a second, the police understand that their gear looks like children's toys in comparison. It is the kind of realization that makes even the bravest officer suddenly remember an urgent appointment somewhere else. The group's leader raises his weapon and gives a warning. If anyone moves, they will be killed immediately. Nobody moves. The activists quickly open the cages and rescue all the animals inside the laboratory. Before leaving, one of the members proudly announces, "From this day onward, no animal will ever be tortured or experimented on in this place again." The group begins celebrating its success. Then one member suddenly shouts, "Wait, something is wrong." Everyone turns. On the floor lies a female chimpanzee. Her body is covered in blood. Her breathing is weak and uneven. At first, the activists believe she has been shot. They assume she must have been another victim of the laboratory's experiments. Furious, several members turn toward the scientists, ready to unleash every insult they know. Before they can do that, they notice something else. The chimpanzee is pregnant. She is suffering a severe medical emergency and appears to be going through a miscarriage. Unless she receives immediate treatment, both the mother and her baby could die. The other activists report that the police have already called for reinforcements. They must escape immediately. One young member looks down at the helpless chimpanzee and makes a decision. He lifts her into his arms. "I cannot leave a helpless life with people who treat animal protection laws like toilet paper." Then he carries her out of the laboratory. The scene shifts to a hospital. Doctors rush the chimpanzee into emergency treatment and perform an urgent delivery. Against the odds, the baby is born alive. However, when the doctors examine the newborn, they make a shocking discovery. This is not a normal chimpanzee. It is not completely human either. The baby is an extremely rare hybrid, combining human and chimpanzee characteristics. A creature like this is known as a human Z. The story briefly moves into the past. In the 19th century, Charles Darwin published On the Origin of Species, presenting ideas about evolution that transformed humanity's understanding of life. But perhaps those ideas inspired someone to go far beyond studying nature. Someone may have created a life form that challenged the rules of nature itself. Several years later, we meet the hybrid child. His name is Charlie. Charlie has been raised by a kind woman named Hannah and her husband Buddy. One morning, Hannah stands near a forest looking increasingly worried. It is Charlie's first day of school, but Charlie has disappeared. Hannah repeatedly calls his name. "Charlie." There is no response. "Charlie." Still nothing. Her concern grows. Then Charlie suddenly swings down from a tree, making an entrance dramatic enough for someone who has supposedly never attended theater class. He lands near Hannah and Buddy. Charlie calls Hannah Mom and Buddy Dad. We learn that Hannah and Buddy adopted Charlie when he was very young. They raised him as their own biological child and gave him all the love and protection they could. Hannah reminds Charlie that he must respect everyone at school. She also asks him, once again, to stop swinging from trees. Walking exists. Shoes were invented. There are options. Buddy jokingly asks, "Today is your first day at school. Aren't you scared?" Charlie remains completely calm. According to him, the day is going to be interesting and enjoyable. When they reach the school gate, Hannah becomes nervous again. She and Buddy have enrolled Charlie because they want him to experience a normal life. They want him to make friends, receive an education, and grow up like any other child. Before saying goodbye, Hannah gives him another warning. "Do not cause any trouble today." Buddy reassures her. "Relax, our son is special." That is true, although it is probably not the most calming sentence to hear when leaving a human-chimpanzee hybrid at school for the first time. As soon as Charlie enters the classroom, gossip spreads everywhere. Students whisper to one another. Some begin calling him Monkey Man. When they discover that Charlie is supposedly the son of a scientist named Dr. Grossman and a chimpanzee, their curiosity reaches another level. Someone says that Charlie has even visited the White House. After that, the class becomes even more fascinated. Charlie does not appear bothered by any of it. He behaves politely toward everyone. The gossip around him seems no more important than background noise. Several girls look at Charlie and immediately react. "Oh my God, he is super cute," another girl says. "If he had Instagram, he would definitely have millions of followers." One of them suggests inviting Charlie into their group so they can create a virtual living photograph with him. The girls become excited. One boy immediately refuses. "I read that chimpanzees can lift around 300 kilograms. If I cause trouble with him, I will wake up in a hospital." A short while later, drama begins outside the school. A cat is trapped high in a tree. The branch beneath it is beginning to weaken. Students gather below and watch. One person says, "Call an ambulance." Another says, "Call a television station." Nobody says, "Perhaps we should actually help the cat," because apparently common sense has not yet arrived at school. A girl steps forward. Her name is Lucy. Lucy is known as the school's nerd. Students attempt to stop her. "There is no need to become a hero, Lucy." Lucy ignores them and begins climbing the tree. The students watch from below to see whether she can rescue the cat. The cat is panicking. It does not trust humans and initially refuses to move toward Lucy. Slowly, however, it begins approaching her. Just as Lucy reaches toward it, her foot slips. She barely catches a branch. The students below begin shouting, "Come down quickly. If you fall, it will be embarrassing in front of everyone." Apparently, public embarrassment is the greatest danger they can imagine while Lucy is hanging several meters above the ground. The branch begins cracking. Charlie hears the sound from a distance. His ears are far more sensitive than those of an ordinary human. The next second, he launches himself through a window. Lucy and the cat fall. Charlie catches both of them in midair. Everything happens so quickly that no one fully understands what they have witnessed. The crowd remains frozen. Everyone's mouth falls open. Then the students immediately pull out their phones and begin recording. A miracle has occurred, and naturally the first priority is TikTok. Lucy prepares to thank Charlie. Charlie calmly checks the cat. The cat is perfectly fine. He places the animal back into Lucy's hands. The students remain stunned. Someone says, "He really is a chimpanzee." A confused boy replies, "A normal chimpanzee cannot do something like that. This guy looks like a creature from another universe." The scene shifts to the school cafeteria. Charlie is sitting alone and quietly eating lunch. Lucy gathers her courage and walks toward him. "Is anyone sitting here?" Charlie hesitates for a moment. Then he says, "You can sit wherever you want." Lucy sits across from him. An awkward silence follows. Lucy attempts to begin a normal conversation. Instead, she introduces philosophy. She asks a famous question. "What is it like to be a bat?" Charlie looks at her. Lucy explains, "How does a bat experience the world? Humans can study bats and describe their behavior, but to truly understand what being a bat feels like, someone would have to become one." Charlie understands what she is trying to ask. "Ask whatever you want to ask." Lucy becomes nervous. Then she finally says it. "What does it feel like to be a hybrid? Do you see the world differently from normal people?" Charlie thinks for a moment. Then he answers calmly, "I always wonder what it feels like to be human." Lucy becomes incredibly happy. Her expression makes it seem as if she has won the lottery, discovered the meaning of life, and received free cafeteria food on the same day. She immediately asks, "Charlie, will you be my friend?" Charlie gives her a simple smile. The friendship is confirmed. Lucy explains that she previously gave a presentation about Charlie to the school board. She wanted the school to arrange a suitable place for him and make it possible for him to study safely. Two girls then arrive. They excitedly ask Charlie if they can take a photograph with him. Charlie casually says, "Okay." While taking the photograph, the girls notice that Charlie's plate contains only vegetables. One of them asks, "You do not eat meat?" Charlie replies, "I do not even know whether I have ever eaten meat. My parents are vegan, so I follow them." An arrogant boy named Oshi enters. His attitude is aggressive, and he begins mocking Charlie. The girls tell him to stop. Oshi has no intention of stopping. He presents Charlie with what he believes is a clever question. "You vegans love animals, right? Suppose a rat carrying a disease bites you, and only one life can survive. What would you do?" Charlie answers directly, "I would kill the rat." Oshi is shocked. "What? I thought vegans believed the life of a rat was equal to the life of a human." Charlie calmly explains, "If I do not kill it, I will die." Oshi begins shouting, "See? In the end, vegans are exactly like meat eaters." A blond boy approaches and tells Oshi to stop. Charlie ends the debate with a cold statement. "If you had the disease, I would kill you too." The entire group falls silent. Even Oshi's confidence appears to leave the cafeteria before he does. Lucy finds Charlie's answer strange. She secretly follows him. She expects to discover something disturbing. Instead, she finds Charlie attempting to rescue a butterfly that is about to be eaten by a spider. Lucy is shocked. She is also impressed. At that moment, Hana arrives. Charlie quickly pretends that he was doing something else. "I was only stealing the spider's food." Hana tells him that someone is waiting at home and that he needs to leave immediately. Charlie follows her. Lucy watches from a distance. She realizes that Charlie is actually gentle and compassionate. She says nothing. She simply smiles to herself. Inside the car, Hannah asks, "How was your first day at school? Did you enjoy it?" Charlie looks at her as though he does not fully understand the question. Hannah asks, "Did you make any friends, or did you spend the entire day climbing trees?" Charlie answers, "No." It is not clear which part of the question he is answering. They return home in silence. The story does not remain peaceful. The scene suddenly shifts to a destroyed location. A building has been blown apart. Injured people lie among the debris. Smoke fills the area. On a wall is a symbol showing a monkey's face. Below it is the name Animal Liberation Alliance. The next scene shows several people celebrating the bombing. One member says, "There may have been children inside." The leader does not care. In a cold voice, he replies, "This is only the beginning. The war has begun. There is no mercy in war. Collateral damage is part of the process." He asks, "How many animals were rescued?" A subordinate responds, "Sir, we only received information about humans." The boss becomes furious. Show sympathy toward animals, not humans. From this point onward, the story moves in a dangerous direction. The ALA leader explains his twisted ideology. According to him, animals are born only to be exploited, tortured, and killed by human beings. His followers become emotional. Some begin crying as though the boss's pain is their own. A member arrives with fresh information. "Sir, the explosion video has gone viral on every website and social media platform." The leader picks up a photograph of Charlie. In a serious voice, he says, "This boy is our next target. 15 years have passed. We will not wait any longer. If we want to continue this war, we must capture Charlie at any cost." The scene cuts to a street corner. Several older boys are drinking iced tea and gossiping. One asks, "Did you see that viral clip? The half-human, half-monkey boy?" Everyone online calls him Charlie. According to the rumors, he studies at a school nearby. The conversation turns toward the Animal Liberation Alliance. Someone says, "I heard they are making a comeback." One boy becomes confused. Another explains, "They are the same group that raided the laboratory 15 years ago and rescued Charlie." When the boy discovers that they are extremist activists, he jokes, "If the police catch them, they should send them directly to prison or a mental hospital." The boys laugh. A family walks past. The mother suddenly remembers that she left her hat inside a shop. Her young daughter says, "Mom, I will bring it." The girl enters the shop. She finds the hat. Then a massive explosion destroys the entire building. The girl becomes trapped inside. Her mother screams in unbearable pain. She tries to run into the flames. A man stops her because the area is too dangerous. News of the attack spreads with incredible speed. People immediately blame the so-called vegan terrorists. At the same time, the ALA releases a video accepting responsibility. They identify themselves as the Animal Liberation Alliance. They deliver a message saying that humans should listen to the screams of their own species, just as animals have suffered because of human actions. At school, students check government notifications on their phones. The ALA is identified as the main suspect. Everyone knows that this is the same organization that rescued Charlie from the laboratory 15 years earlier. The group remained hidden in the shadows for years. Now it has returned in a fully aggressive form. Charlie's parents see the news and panic. They immediately leave to collect him from school. Students whisper about Charlie. Charlie is leaving with Buddy when the police chief appears. The chief politely invites them into the office. "Would you come inside for a moment? We need to ask several questions." Later, at home, Hannah is furious. She explains that the police chief treated Charlie like a terrorist. Because Hannah is a lawyer, she understands exactly what the police were suggesting. Buddy anxiously asks, "Where is Charlie?" Hannah replies, "He was exhausted, so I sent him to sleep." Buddy says seriously, "Perhaps we should remove him from school." Hannah disagrees. She argues that being vegan or being an activist does not automatically mean being a terrorist. Buddy takes a more practical view. He warns that the internet sometimes turns innocent people into targets. Once the public chooses someone to blame, evidence usually arrives after the damage has already been done. Charlie enters the room. Calmly, he says, "I am going to school tomorrow." The next day, everyone treats Charlie like an alien. Students suspect that he may have a connection to the terrorist group. The scene cuts to the ALA hideout. The members are surprised that Charlie is continuing to attend school and live normally despite everything that has happened. They still cannot believe that the baby they removed from a chimpanzee 15 years earlier has grown into Charlie. Some members become emotional. "We should meet him." However, the police have placed extremely tight security around Charlie. Reaching him is almost impossible. The group is forced to cancel its plan. One member refuses to accept this. "No matter what happens, Charlie must join our side." Obsession is clearly visible in his eyes. "If he does not come willingly, I will force him. He has no choice." It becomes clear that Charlie is no longer merely a student. He has become a key figure, and both sides are willing to do anything to control him. At school, the atmosphere has become heavy. Students are grieving because one of their friends died in the bombing. Several students are crying. In one corner of the cafeteria, Charlie quietly eats lunch as though it is an ordinary day. A boy named I watches him from a distance. He cannot understand how Charlie can remain so calm. One thought runs through his mind. Everyone is crying, and this guy is eating as if nothing happened. I's anger erupts. He approaches Charlie. "How can you be so calm? One of our friends is dead, and you are sitting here eating comfortably." The tension in the cafeteria increases. Students begin arguing. Some claim that vegans and activists are destroying the city. Lucy suddenly enters. With complete confidence, she says loudly, "The people carrying out these attacks are not even on Charlie's level." The entire cafeteria becomes silent for a moment. I immediately responds, "We have the right to ask questions. Have you never heard of freedom of speech?" Then he adds suspiciously, "The ALA rescued Charlie." Obviously, that makes him suspicious. The atmosphere becomes even more uncomfortable. Lucy is clearly irritated. She hates the pointless accusations. She turns toward Charlie, takes his hand, and attempts to lead him out of the cafeteria. After a few steps, Charlie turns back. He faces the students. "What do all of you eat?" Everyone looks confused. Charlie continues, "I do not care what you eat. Only one thing matters. Are you good people?" He explains why he is vegan. "I am vegan because I like being vegan. I do not need to prove anything. You can eat birds, cows, pigs, fish, or anything else. That is your choice. I will not judge you." The students are stunned. I asks, "Have you gone mad?" Charlie asks another question. "Why do humans not kill and eat other humans?" The entire cafeteria becomes silent. Charlie explains the answer. "Humans do not want to cause one another pain. Animals also have nervous systems. They also feel pain. Why should humans be the special exception?" Nobody answers. Another boy attempts to argue. "Humans are simply different." Charlie looks directly into his eyes. "How? What exactly makes them different?" The boy falls silent. His mind appears to have shut down because he has no proper answer. I realizes that the debate is slipping away from him. He twists the topic. "That is enough. There is no point arguing with someone who is half human and half monkey. His brain probably operates on a different system." The atmosphere becomes awkward again. I and Trav leave angrily. Charlie and Lucy walk out of the cafeteria. They meet a boy named Gale. Gale proudly declares himself Charlie's friend. He smiles slightly. "What you said was actually very deep. For now, it would be better if you stayed out of sight." In a warm tone, he adds, "It is better for you to leave this place." Charlie quietly listens and walks away from the tension. Lucy takes Charlie to a secret base inside the school. It is a student hideout where people skip class and relax. Charlie looks around. "Thank you for bringing me here." Lucy becomes serious. "To be honest, you should change your address soon. I do not think it is safe for you to stay here. I am tired of this place too." She then asks, "Where would your family go if you moved?" Charlie thinks for a moment. He explains, "From a distance, an ant colony looks like one unit. But when you look closely, every ant is different. One may be lazy, another may be planning, another may be exchanging something. Their DNA is similar, but their personalities and behavior are different." Lucy listens. At first, she enjoys the deep explanation. Then the meaning surprises her. Charlie becomes more personal. "I did not go outside often. I learned about the world through books and the internet. My parents were my entire world." Now that Charlie is observing real humans closely, He has reached an interesting conclusion. Honestly, humans are fascinating. Lucy laughs. Then she casually asks, "What are your social media accounts? We should follow each other." Their friendship becomes stronger. Meanwhile, police officers maintain tight surveillance outside Charlie's house. It looks as though they are stalking him. An inexperienced officer asks his senior, "Why are we watching Charlie so closely?" "My son is a huge fan of him." The senior officer tells him a frightening story. Years earlier, the police were required to guard a chimpanzee. This was no ordinary assignment. Nearly 1,000 police officers were involved. Everyone had become exhausted from working long shifts. Then an alarm sounded. The senior officer witnessed something he never forgot. A chimpanzee, only 5 years old, attacked and severely injured 7 strong police officers. All 7 had to be hospitalized. The inexperienced officer becomes frightened. His expression makes it look as though he has just seen a ghost and the ghost has asked him to work overtime. The senior officer continues. After the incident, the injured officers immediately retired. One of them had been his closest friend. The entire case was quietly buried. Charlie's name and story nearly disappeared from the media to prevent public panic. The senior officer believes powerful lawyers and influential people controlled the information. He says he does not know whether Charlie will ever become a terrorist. However, one thought has never left him. Perhaps creatures like Charlie were never meant to exist. The scene shifts to Lucy. She is casually communicating with Charlie when a strange man approaches her on the street. He asks whether she knows Charlie. Lucy immediately becomes defensive. "Why do you want to know?" The stranger casually says that he is from a research institute. Lucy does not like his answer. "Go and bother someone else. Leave me alone." The man refuses to stop. Lucy becomes irritated. "You should leave before you make the situation worse." The man almost pleads. "Wait for 1 second." Then he asks a disturbing question. "What does it mean for a monkey man to exist in this world? Why does someone like Charlie, half human and half chimpanzee, exist at all?" Lucy becomes uncomfortable. She wonders whether the man is a stalker. She looks at him suspiciously and creates some distance. The man points toward Lucy's bicycle, where her name is visible. He explains that he saw her name there. That is why he addressed her directly. He claims that he has no bad intentions. He only wants to ask questions. He says that he works at the research laboratory where Charlie was born. According to him, Charlie returns there every year for medical examinations. That is how he knows Charlie. The stranger asks calmly, "Has Charlie been doing well recently? Is everything normal?" Lucy thinks. Then she answers honestly. She explains that several students at school constantly trouble Charlie. People gossip about him. They argue about him. They create unnecessary drama. The strangest part is that Charlie appears unaffected. He remains calm, as though all the noise around him is only background sound. Lucy ends her explanation with a comparison. She says that Charlie is like a bat. A bat experiences the world differently. In the same way, Charlie is teaching her to see the world from a different perspective. His thoughts and understanding are unlike those of ordinary people. The stranger smiles slightly. He seems impressed. Lucy looks away. When she looks back, the man has disappeared. It is as though he vanished into the air. The next day, Lucy is taken to the research institute. The director immediately asks about the mysterious man. Lucy describes the encounter in detail. She explains that a stranger approached her, claimed to work at the institute, and asked questions about Charlie. The director listens calmly. Then he reveals something shocking. No employee matching that man's description works there. The stranger was lying. The mystery becomes deeper. Who was he? Why was he interested in Charlie? The mood becomes lighter afterward. Buddy invites Lucy to dinner. Charlie has never mentioned a friend before. For Hannah, this is a major event. She wants to meet the girl who made Charlie comfortable enough to call her a friend. Everyone spends time together. The conversation remains friendly. Buddy casually asks Lucy, "Would you like to meet Eva?" Lucy becomes confused. "Who is Eva? Is she your neighbor?" Charlie answers with a completely straight face. "She is my biological mother." Lucy initially believes he is joking. Then they take her to see Eva. Lucy's eyes and mouth open wide. Eva is not human. She is a chimpanzee. Even more surprisingly, she is still alive. Meanwhile, the ALA is in full planning mode. Its objective is simple: kidnap Charlie and use him for its political agenda. Charlie remains calm, as though everything is under control. Everyone expects his meeting with Eva to be emotional. They imagine a dramatic mother and son reunion. Instead, Charlie remains completely detached. He explains that Eva is simply the female chimpanzee who gave birth to him. He feels no traditional emotional attachment. There is no forgotten memory. There is no hidden mother and son bond. Charlie is simply calm. Eva's own life, however, is tragic. Hunters captured her when she was still a baby. Her parents were killed. Afterward, she was transported from one place to another. Sometimes she was kept in European zoos. At other times, circus owners purchased her. She was treated like merchandise being sold repeatedly. Eventually, she was permanently transferred to a biological research laboratory in California. The laboratory's director, Dr. Grossman, made a shocking discovery. Eva was not a normal chimpanzee. Her intelligence was extraordinarily high. She could understand abstract ideas. She could even write poetry. A chimpanzee writing poetry was incredible. Dr. Grossman became fascinated. Then fascinated became obsessed. Gossip began spreading among the laboratory staff. Some employees joked that the boss had developed feelings for the chimpanzee. Everyone assumed it was merely a strange rumor. Then the ultimate plot twist appears. Dr. Grossman was not simply fascinated. He had begun behaving like a mad scientist. Using gene editing technology, he secretly experimented on himself and Eva. Charlie was the result. A human-chimpanzee hybrid. A human Z. Everything remained secret. The laboratory employees never discovered the full truth. Then, 15 years earlier, the mysterious attack occurred. Dr. Grossman disappeared. Before leaving, he deleted all the research data. Nobody could find proof of his experiments. He vanished without leaving a trace. No evidence. No explanation. Only one major mystery remained. Why did he create Charlie? Lucy proposes the simplest solution. Why do we not ask Eva? The director gives her a painful reality check. The experiment surrounding Charlie's birth permanently damaged Eva's brain. Her intelligence declined. Her mental ability is now below that of an ordinary chimpanzee. That is why she must remain inside the laboratory permanently. The group prepares to leave. Then Eva begins behaving strangely. She arranges alphabet and number cards into an unusual sequence. The atmosphere becomes mysterious. Fowler dismisses it as random behavior. According to him, the sequence has no special meaning. Lucy's intuition tells her otherwise. She believes Eva is attempting to communicate. Perhaps the sequence is a warning. Perhaps it is connected to the future. After the emotional visit, Lucy accepts the dinner invitation. Hannah welcomes her warmly. She gives off the unmistakable energy of someone already evaluating a future daughter-in-law, although nobody is brave enough to say that aloud. Hannah serves an enormous vegan feast. Lucy enjoys the food and the relaxed atmosphere. During dinner, Hannah begins casually questioning her. How is Charlie doing at school? How is his behavior? The tone is friendly, but Lucy quickly realizes that a lawyer is conducting a gentle interrogation over vegetables. Lucy asks whether she should become vegan. Several questions are moving through her mind. Is veganism healthier? Is it morally better? Is it connected to the ALA's extremism? Hannah immediately explains that nobody in their home is forced to become vegan. No one is being ordered to eat grass. However, committing violence in the name of vegetables is still wrong. It is a crime. Buddy joins the conversation. He tells Lucy that she can try veganism if it gives her peace of mind. She does not need to transform her entire life immediately. She can begin with one vegan meal per day or one vegan day each week. Buddy also admits an honest truth. Eating salad does not automatically turn someone into a saint. In the modern world, almost every product involves some form of indirect animal exploitation. Humans cannot completely escape the system. Almost everyone is connected to animal harm in some way. Therefore, vegans should not judge others or consider themselves superior. Lucy becomes confused. If that is true, what is the point of becoming vegan? Buddy answers calmly. We do not need to become saints, but we do not need to become cruel either. We are normal people trying, little by little, to become better. The explanation clears Lucy's confusion. She realizes that Charlie's family is relaxed and reasonable. After dinner, Lucy goes to see Charlie's room. The day feels warm and wholesome. She has no idea that armed people are waiting outside. The ALA squad is already positioned around the property. The group is in ambush mode. Its leader gives a cold order. Kill everyone in the house except Charlie. His plan is twisted. He wants Charlie to lose his entire support system. When someone becomes completely alone, manipulating them becomes easier. The leader wants Charlie to become so lonely that joining the ALA appears to be his only option. He warns the attackers not to underestimate Charlie. Charlie once hospitalized 7 police officers by himself. The attackers do not take the warning seriously. They are former military officers. They believe one hybrid teenager cannot possibly defeat them. Capturing him appears easy. Their confidence quickly crosses the border into stupidity. They do not know that Charlie's hearing is thousands of times sharper than a human's. The moment the gate lock clicks, Charlie hears it. Without wasting a second, he alerts Buddy. Buddy's reflexes are exceptional. He grabs a knife from the kitchen and counters the first surprise attack. Another intruder runs upstairs toward Lucy. The situation becomes intense. Charlie reaches Lucy, pulls her out of the line of fire, and brings her downstairs. Then the real fight begins. Charlie jumps into the air. He spins. A powerful flying kick strikes an attacker directly in the face. The man collapses. The remaining attackers charge. Charlie does not panic. He looks at them as though they are badly arranged rubbish. The expression makes them even angrier. One attacker attempts to punch him. Charlie catches the man's arm and traps it in a tight lock. The attacker struggles. The second man sees an opportunity for a 2-against-1 fight. He jumps toward Charlie. Charlie blocks and counters every move. His fighting style resembles a martial arts film in which the villains did not receive the choreography. His reflexes are extremely fast. The attackers cannot understand when their strikes are being blocked or when Charlie is counterattacking. Charlie sees an opportunity. He hooks the rug with his foot and pulls. The attackers lose their balance and fall. Charlie performs a clean backflip and lands beside his parents. He tells Hannah, "Call the police. Report 3 intruders." The leader hiding outside hears him. Charlie only saw 2 attackers inside. Still, he immediately understood that a third person was waiting outside. The leader becomes excited. Charlie is not only strong, he is highly intelligent. Charlie is no longer merely a target. He has become a priceless asset. Police vehicles approach the area. The leader cuts the electricity. The entire house falls into darkness. Using the darkness as cover, the attackers retreat. By the time the lights return, they have disappeared. Charlie's family and Lucy spend the entire night at the police station giving statements. The attackers had destroyed the security system. The cameras recorded nothing. The police eventually classify the incident as a failed robbery. Apparently, former military attackers attempting to abduct a hybrid now counts as an ordinary burglary. The case is closed. The drama continues. Lucy's mother runs into the police station. When she learns that Lucy was nearly attacked, she explodes. She blames Lucy's connection to Charlie. She immediately declares that Lucy will never contact him again. According to her, Lucy must remain far away from Charlie. She also discovers that Lucy lied about going to the library. Lucy was actually spending time with Charlie. Her mother becomes so angry that she blames the school and threatens legal action. Finally, she grabs Lucy's hand and drags her away. Charlie and his family watch in shock. After some time, Charlie returns to school. Hannah and Buddy believe he may be safer around more people. Their trust in the police has nearly disappeared. At school, the situation becomes more awkward. Lucy publicly ignores Charlie. She behaves as though she does not know him. Secretly, she messages him and asks to meet in the park during lunch. They meet privately. Lucy explains the truth. Her mother is a member of the school board. She has considerable influence. She is pressuring the school to remove Charlie. To convince her mother to allow Charlie to remain, Lucy promised to keep her distance. Publicly, they must appear disconnected. Privately, they will remain best friends. The attack is over, but Lucy is still traumatized. Her fear has not disappeared. Charlie notices her stress. He asks an innocent question. Anxiety means worrying about something bad that may happen in the future. But we are safe right now. Why do we not wait until something bad actually happens and worry then? Lucy laughs slightly. If everyone thought like you, half the therapists in America would lose their jobs. Charlie may not completely understand human emotions. However, he understands that Lucy does not feel safe. He asks one final question. If those people were caught, would you feel safe? Lucy slowly nods. A bold plan forms inside Charlie's mind. He decides that he will no longer remain the prey. He will hunt the hunters. The scene cuts to the ALA hideout. One former major sits holding the arm Charlie nearly broke. The leader continues speaking about Charlie. He describes him as the perfect combination of chimpanzee strength and human intelligence. He explains that their strategy must change. The police are guarding Charlie's home. They cannot attempt another direct attack. Before he finishes speaking, the hideout door is smashed open. Everyone turns in shock. Charlie enters. The villains were planning how to kidnap him. Charlie has kindly saved them the journey. He announces that he wants them to surrender. "You attacked my home. You made my foster parents and Lucy suffer. Go to the police station yourselves. Otherwise, I will take you there." The tension rises. The lieutenant slowly moves one hand behind his back. He is attempting to draw a weapon. At the same time, he wonders how Charlie found their hideout. Charlie remains calm. He explains his reasoning like a detective. The attackers were injured during the fight. Because the police were searching for them, they could not visit an ordinary hospital. They needed illegal antibiotics. Charlie waited near the location where black market medicine was sold. Eventually, he saw a suspicious man. He followed him. That man led Charlie directly to the hideout. Charlie adds another psychological blow. Every human walks differently. The attacker's movements look suspicious from far away. "You practically smelled like gunpowder and bad intentions." Charlie says he detected their terrorist frequency immediately. Then he presents two options. Option 1, go to the police station and surrender. Option 2, refuse and I will use force. I will immobilize you and take you to the police myself. He gives one final warning. If anyone tries to draw a gun, I will not be responsible for what happens. The terrorists are shaken. They understand that defeating Charlie directly is nearly impossible. They attempt a trick. They pretend to agree. They say they will surrender. Their real plan is to gain time. Everyone enters a car. The atmosphere is extremely tense. It feels like an examination hall in which everyone knows they have failed, but the teacher has not collected the paper yet. Charlie turns toward the leader. "Why did you plan to kill my entire family but keep me alive?" The leader believes this is his opportunity to manipulate Charlie. He begins speaking smoothly. "Because you are special. You are unique. You are neither completely human nor completely chimpanzee." He intensifies the manipulation. No matter how much Charlie's foster parents love him, society will never see him as equal. No matter how close Lucy becomes, the world will still treat him differently. According to the leader, society considers Charlie nothing more than a talking pet. Being a hybrid means Charlie's bloodline may end with him. He will have no proper rights. He will have no future. The respect humans give him is only an empty label that helps them feel morally superior. The leader completes his argument. "This is injustice. The ALA understands your value. We will show the world." Charlie remains unmoved. "I do not consider myself special or superior. You, me, a cat, or a dog are all living beings." The leader understands that manipulation is failing. He pretends to agree. Then he suddenly pulls out a knife and attacks the driver. Everything turns chaotic. The car loses control. It races along the road. The leader and lieutenant jump from the moving vehicle and escape. They leave disaster behind. A few seconds later, the car crashes violently in the middle of the street. The noise attracts the police. Charlie's body is so strong that he suffers almost no serious injuries. He immediately takes action. He pulls the injured driver from the vehicle. Then he provides professional-level first aid, almost like a trained medical worker. The police arrive. Without checking the full facts, they assume Charlie caused the incident. They handcuff him and take him away. The person who attempted to save the victim is blamed. The scene shifts elsewhere. News channels expose the identities of the two ALA ringleaders. Police raid their former hideout. The operation happens quickly. Almost every subordinate is arrested. Nobody escapes. Meanwhile, the leader becomes extremely anxious. He worries that the injured driver may still be alive. If the driver survives and tells the police the truth, the organization's secrets could be exposed. The lieutenant remains calm. He reassures the leader. The driver has already endured considerable suffering and torture. He has never betrayed the organization. He will not reveal its secrets now. The two leaders do not change their mindset. Even under police pressure, they refuse to choose a peaceful path. They secretly recruit new members through anonymous online channels. They are preparing another plan. Several days pass. News of Charlie's arrest spreads everywhere. Rumors move like fire through a dry forest. Lucy is stunned. Ignoring her mother's strict ban, she climbs over the fence and goes directly to Charlie's house. Hannah and Buddy welcome her warmly. Despite the tension, they treat Lucy like a member of the family. They tell her the entire story. Charlie decided to confront the terrorists before the police could act. He tracked them. He attempted to force their surrender. After the crash, he pulled the injured driver from the car and gave him first aid. Still, the situation turned against him. The two ringleaders escaped. The police now suspect Charlie. They believe he may have planned the entire event with the terrorists. They think the incident could be a conspiracy. Lucy becomes furious. Charlie has already been detained for 10 days. The police are not treating him like a normal student. They are treating him like an extremely dangerous criminal. Hannah says something painful. I wish Charlie really were a criminal. Then everything might be easier. The statement initially sounds strange. Then the logic becomes clear. If Charlie were an ordinary human criminal, he would possess legal rights. He would receive a lawyer. Authorities would be required to follow a legal process. But Charlie does not fit into any recognized category. He has no officially recognized human rights. Wildlife protection laws do not protect him either. Legally, Charlie is registered as property belonging to Hannah and Buddy. The system does not recognize him as a person. It treats him like an object. The police are handling him as though he is evidence from a crime scene. Just as a knife or gun might be kept in custody, Charlie is being kept in custody. No specific law protects his freedom or safety. Hannah and Buddy explain why they sent Charlie to school despite the risks. Nearly 10 years earlier, Charlie became a national sensation. People were obsessed with seeing him. Wherever he went, cameras and media followed. He was constantly in the spotlight. Hannah and Buddy enrolled him in an elite preschool. Initially, everything went well. It appeared that Charlie might live a normal and happy life. Then, a terrible incident occurred during a swimming session. Several mischievous children pushed Charlie's head underwater as a prank. They believed it was harmless. Charlie's survival instincts activated. He panicked. He used his full strength to escape. Several children were seriously injured. When the police arrived, Charlie was still terrified. Officers aimed weapons at him. Charlie overheard people saying that he should be imprisoned or dissected for research. Fear and anger overwhelmed him. He attacked the police. The situation became chaotic. Charlie fought everyone by himself. The police only restrained him after he became completely exhausted. Hannah and Buddy used their connections to prevent the story from becoming public. However, the price was severe. Charlie was placed under house arrest. He received a 10-year suspended sentence. For 10 years, he was forced to remain inside the family home. The experience taught Hannah a painful lesson. The world loved Charlie while he appeared cute and entertaining. The moment he became frightened or dangerous, people called him a monster. Hannah believes Charlie deserves basic rights. The right to defend himself. The right to freedom. The right to live and work. The right to be recognized as a person. That is why they sent him to school. They want Charlie to prove that he can adjust to society. They want him to demonstrate intelligence and live peacefully alongside humans. Their final goal is to gather enough evidence to present to the government. They want Charlie to receive an official legal identity. They want him to receive full citizenship. The stakes are extremely high. It is the greatest gamble of their lives. Failure is not an option. After hearing the complete truth, Lucy becomes determined. She gains the energy of someone who has suddenly realized she is not merely part of the story, she is going to change it. From now on, I am ignoring my mother's restrictions. I will fight with you for Charlie's rights. We will make history. We will set an example that nobody has ever created. Hannah becomes emotional. Tears fill her eyes. She embraces Lucy tightly. For the first time, someone outside the family genuinely understands their struggle. The group goes to the police station. They ask to see Charlie. The deputy chief gives a harsh answer. Nobody can meet him. He only allows them to sign papers so that some of Charlie's personal belongings can be returned. Then he explains the legal reason. Charlie is considered the most important evidence in a terrorism investigation. To the police, he is not a person. He is part of the case. The police will not waste time arranging visits with evidence. Then the deputy says something shocking. Once the paperwork is completed, Charlie will officially pass into police possession. After that, he will become government property. Lucy loses control. She attempts to enter the detention area. The police restrain her. Desperate and surrounded by officers, Lucy suddenly shouts a strange and mysterious line toward Charlie. The original account does not clearly preserve the exact sentence. However, Charlie reacts. A disturbance begins inside the station. Everyone becomes shocked when Charlie emerges from the detention area completely unharmed. He stands outside the cell. His family appears surprisingly calm. Everyone begins speaking at once. Deputy Chief Phil becomes furious. His face turns red. He pulls out his gun. Charlie remains calm. He complains about the cell. "You locked me inside a space so small that I could barely move. Tight spaces are stressful. Who locks an animal in a place that small? That is villain behavior." Lucy immediately pulls out her phone. She activates what can only be described as online lawyer mode. Are you seriously pointing a gun at an innocent citizen? If a police officer abuses his power, the internet will expose him immediately. Do not try to act too clever. Phil responds angrily. Innocent citizen? Innocent people do not help criminals escape from jail. Lucy replies instantly. A moment ago, you said Charlie was an object, so the object walked away. It has legs. If you have a problem, file a report. Phil refuses to back down. So he is an object? Fine. If I shoot this object, the worst charge I will receive is property damage. At most, they will reduce my salary and give me a warning. The two sides glare at one another. The situation is ready to explode. Commissioner Navarro suddenly arrives. He immediately stops the confrontation. He scolds Phil. Then he reveals major news. Higher authorities have ordered Charlie's release because he is innocent. Navarro turns toward Charlie's family. Please take your friend and leave. Then he looks at the officers standing around watching. What are all of you doing here? Go back to work. Are taxpayers paying you to watch a live performance? We learned that Hannah secretly contacted Senator Linrus. 10 years earlier, Linrus used his political power to suppress the preschool incident. Now he has used his influence again. He prevented the new problem from becoming even larger. However, Linrus warns Hannah he will not always rescue them. Receiving favors from powerful government figures is dangerous. The ALA's violence is also damaging Linrus's political image. He can no longer use his reputation as an animal rights protector effectively during elections. One of his strongest political cards is being destroyed. Linrus has a larger goal. He wants to break the legal wall separating humans and animals. He wants animals to receive rights under the law. Charlie is essential to this plan. However, Linrus does not truly view Charlie as a special person. To him, Charlie is a political tool, a useful piece that can advance his agenda. Linrus gives Hannah a harsh warning. The next time Charlie creates a problem, you will handle it yourselves. I will not save you again. The next morning, Lucy approaches Charlie at school. She says hello. Lucy secretly overheard Hannah and Buddy talking. They said that Charlie must properly adjust to society if he wants to win legal rights in court. Lucy creates a high school integration plan. Step 1. Make as many friends as possible. At lunchtime, Lucy leads Charlie around the cafeteria. They visit every table. They greet people politely. Hello. Nice to meet you. Every table gives them the same reaction. Awkward expressions, sudden excuses, people leave. Someone secretly sticks a monkey keeper sign onto Lucy's bag. The situation becomes humiliating. Eventually, Charlie and Lucy retreat to their secret base. They eat lunch alone and feel discouraged. Meanwhile, Lucy decides to experiment with veganism. Charlie's parents explain the lifestyle to her. She wants to remove animal products from her daily life. When her mother hears, she becomes furious. A few days earlier, Lucy's mother received a call from the police station. She discovered that Lucy had secretly continued meeting Charlie. Her mother shouted, "I told you to stay away from that monkey." Lucy immediately corrected her. "He is not a monkey. He is a chimpanzee. Monkeys and chimpanzees are different species. That is basic knowledge." Her mother becomes even angrier. She almost becomes dizzy. There are so many people in the world. Why must you attach yourself to that strange family? Lucy removes her mother's hand and enters a fully rebellious mood. I like Charlie and his family. I decide who I spend time with. You are always talking about independent women. I am making an independent decision. You should be happy. Her mother plays her final card. She threatens to transfer Lucy to another school. Lucy responds immediately. If you force me to transfer, I will lock myself inside this house, then prepare to support a 30-year-old daughter who spends all day gaming and eats depression medication for breakfast. Her mother becomes silent. She has no answer. Putting the family conflict aside, Lucy returns to her mission. She decides to target the girls at school as potential friends for Charlie. Her logic is simple. The boys are often toxic and excessively competitive. Girls may respond better to compliments. Lucy begins coaching Charlie. The next time you meet a girl, compliment her earrings. Tell her that her earrings look good. That afternoon, they see their classmates Mia and Kayla. Lucy invites them to join a literature project group. Then she winks at Charlie. It is his signal to begin. Charlie looks at Kayla. Your ear is very beautiful. The girls immediately become frightened. Their expressions suggest that they are wondering whether Charlie collects ears. Lucy attempts to repair the situation. Wait, he meant the earrings. It is a cultural difference. Do not take it personally. Before Lucy finishes explaining, Charlie suddenly climbs onto the roof. A baby bird is about to fall. The parent birds are too frightened by the humans nearby to approach. Charlie climbs up and rescues the baby bird. His action is heroic. His method is unusual. Mia and Kayla become frightened and run away. Lucy feels defeated. She begins believing that the entire world is avoiding them. The truth is that Lucy did not have many friends before meeting Charlie either. Most girls at school care about gossip, drama, trends, and fitting into groups. If someone does not fit their image, rumors begin. People call them weird or different. The boys are even stranger. They body shame others or become completely lost in games and online obsessions. Lucy decided that remaining alone was often more peaceful. Charlie asks directly, "Does that mean you also cannot adjust properly to human society?" Lucy immediately denies it. "I only attend this school because it is close to my house, and everyone here is my age. Finding someone who truly understands you is like catching a shooting star. It is almost miraculous." Charlie considers her words. Then he says something that touches her deeply. "Then I do not need another friend. I have you." Lucy's face turns red. Charlie continues, "The law does not remove someone's human rights because they have no friends. So there is no problem." Lucy feels as though someone has opened her mind. Why should they care what everyone else thinks? As long as they understand each other, everything is fine. They begin laughing wildly in the middle of the schoolyard. Other students stare at them as though they come from another planet. Mia and Kayla are nearby. For the first time, they see Lucy genuinely happy. They do not truly hate Charlie. They were simply frightened by his unfamiliar behavior. Seeing Lucy's confidence changes their minds. Mia and Kayla approach. They join the group. Charlie and Lucy finally gain new friends. A short while later, the four students walk home together. They notice a crowd gathered beside the road. Gale is standing there. He is a strong supporter of the Animal Liberation Alliance. He silently holds a protest sign. OG and Trevor arrive. They begin mocking him. Trevor says, "What kind of protest is this? You do not want to eat meat. Fine. Why are you forcing everyone else to agree? The plants you eat are alive too. What about their rights?" Gale calmly responds, "This is not simply about whether something is alive. It is about whether it feels pain." Trevor answers immediately. "What about insects? What about snails or jellyfish? Do they feel pain? How can you say plants feel nothing when science has not fully proved it?" OG adds another argument. "If species should not discriminate against one another, go to Africa and tell a lion, 'Excuse me, sir, please stop eating zebras.'" Gale becomes furious. He is burning internally. At that moment, however, he has no answer. Charlie watches the debate with a blank expression. His face suggests that he is wondering why everyone keeps looking at him as though being a hybrid automatically makes him the referee of every vegan argument. A crowd gathers around Gale. People mock him. They claim that he is creating drama to promote the vegan group. In the eyes of many people, long-term vegans appear arrogant and judgmental. Someone asks, "Has anyone proved that plants feel pain?" Gale responds, "If I forced you to eat your pet dog, could you eat it as easily as a salad?" The argument becomes intense. OG raises his hand to strike Gale. Charlie immediately steps between them. He catches OG's arm and stops the fight with one movement. Lucy approaches Gale. She calmly advises him, "If you want people to support you, speak more gently, then they may listen." Gale becomes furious. The purpose of a protest is to make people uncomfortable. A teacher arrives and controls the situation. Gale had reserved the schoolyard for an art exhibition. Instead, he used it for a protest. The teacher gives him severe punishment. Charlie begins walking away without showing any reaction. Gale becomes even angrier. "How can you be so emotionless? How can you become friends with manipulative humans?" He continues shouting, "You are a human-chimpanzee hybrid. You are living proof of evolution. Helpless animals are waiting for you to become their voice." Charlie asks, "If humans eat every kind of meat, why do humans not eat human flesh?" Then Charlie gives Gale a brutal reality check. "Why do you think I must represent an ideology? I am not anyone's spokesman. I am a normal animal. I am not a superhero. Do not place these expectations on me." People frequently misunderstand Charlie. He is essentially an observer. He watches humans handle social conflict. Humans often avoid responsibility. When difficult questions appear, they ignore them, create drama, or direct their anger towards someone else. Perhaps that is one of humanity's strangest habits. Gale breaks down after hearing Charlie's rejection. He is banned from school. At home, he is placed under restrictions similar to house arrest. He sits alone in his room and scrolls through online forums. He releases his frustration through posts. In one message, he writes, "I am a useless NPC. Justice without power is a joke." An anonymous account replies, "Perhaps I can give you power." Max has been monitoring Gale for a long time. After the recent incidents, Max and the Major have reached the top of the most wanted list. Still, their obsession with Charlie has not decreased. Gale becomes the perfect tool. The three meet at a nearby restaurant. Gale finally meets the people he idolizes. He immediately begins praising them like an excited fan. Max says he has been reading Gale's online posts and rants. He likes Gale's energy. Then he presents a harsh idea. If you want justice, words are not enough. Sometimes you must pick up weapons. He uses George Washington and the American Revolution as an example. The revolutionaries also had blood on their hands. History does not remember them only as villains. Gale becomes slightly shocked. Max gives a cold answer with a twist. To be honest, many of them were cruel slave owners. Perhaps they are rotting in hell too. Their debate becomes loud. The restaurant owner notices them. He stares suspiciously. He assumes the group plans to order one plate of salad and occupy the table all night. He tells them to leave. Fearing that their cover might be exposed, Max's team prepares to go. As they leave, the owner directs a racist insult toward Max. Max's expression becomes dangerous. The owner senses the change. He secretly reaches beneath the counter toward a shotgun. However, he does not understand that insulting Max is the same as inviting disaster. Later that night, the restaurant owner goes outside to take out the rubbish. Max's team attacks him. They force him into a car and abduct him. Inside the vehicle, Max continues influencing Gale. He explains that George Washington was not perfect. His thinking was limited by the beliefs of his time. In that era, many people accepted slavery. Today, many people accept killing animals for food. Justice does not surrender to its era. History remembers people who stand by their beliefs. Until justice is forced into reality, people do not awaken. Max provokes Gale further. Giving moral lectures online is useless. Stubborn people listen only when they experience real fear. Then Max places a dagger into Gale's hand. It is a test. Does Gale have the courage to kill the restaurant owner? Max continues the psychological manipulation. Animals cannot organize like humans. They cannot debate in human language. They need a leader who understands humans and can speak for every species. Max tells Gale that he can awaken that true leader. The brainwashing overwhelms Gale. He begins believing that he has been chosen for a great mission. He clenches his teeth. He points the dagger toward the restaurant owner. Gale makes a decision from which he may never return. The story moves to the following day. Gale has officially entered his villainous transformation. He quietly arrives at school. He prepares a live stream microphone. He puts on a mask. Then he reveals the weapons he has hidden. He walks directly toward the cafeteria. Gunshots echo through the school. Chaos spreads instantly. It is as though someone has smashed a beehive. Gale begins firing without considering who stands in front of him. Several students cannot escape. They are struck and collapse. The entire school descends into panic. Charlie hears the gunshots. He immediately leaves his classroom. Police Chief Phil receives the emergency report through the radio. Police vehicles race toward the school. At another location, Max watches the entire attack through the live stream. People across the world witness the horror. Max is completely confident. He previously told Gale that Charlie would eventually find him. Viewers are horrified. At that moment, death appears to be counting people. Some survive. Others do not. Max has already studied Charlie's behavior. He explained Charlie's rule to Gale. If someone is close to death, Charlie immediately attempts to save them. It does not matter whether the victim is human or animal. To Charlie, every life has equal value. Once Charlie approaches, even powerful weapons become difficult to use against him. Therefore, Max gives Gale a strategy. He does not need to shoot every victim in the head. He only needs to wound people and leave them lying on the floor. Charlie will stop to rescue them. That will slow him down. Max calmly tells Gale, "Do not be afraid. I have already understood every movement of this special creature. Until yesterday, people mocked you and silenced you. Today, force the world to listen to their screams." Max's entire plan has one goal. He wants Charlie to turn completely against humanity. He wants Charlie to abandon humans and return to the animals. The process can be brutal. The suffering does not matter. Only success matters. Gale enters a classroom. Lucy is inside. Another terrified girl is standing with her. Gale shoots the other girl. She collapses. Then Gale turns toward Lucy. Lucy is now his next target. Will Lucy survive? That is where the episode ends. Much more of the story remains. If this video receives strong support, the next part will be uploaded. Support the video. Leave a like. Until then, goodbye.